struggling caregiver gently cared for an elderly woman, not knowing her son was a CEO millionaire and the morning sun broke through the thin curtains of a small, cluttered apartment as Maya Thompson slipped on her worn-out sneakers and glanced at the clock. She was late again. Not because she didn't care, quite the opposite. Maya had been juggling 2 part-time jobs, bills piling on her kitchen counter, and the constant worry of keeping a roof over her younger brother's head since their parents had passed away. Yet despite her struggles, she had taken on one more responsibility, caring for an elderly woman named Mrs. Evelyn Carter. Evelyn wasn't rich or famous. She was simply old, frail, and lonely. Her neighbors often ignored her, dismissing her as that cranky old lady down the hall. But when Maya first met Evelyn, she saw something else, fragile hands that trembled as they reached for a teacup, tired eyes that once held vibrant stories, and a heart silently pleading for kindness. Maya understood what loneliness felt like, so she had said yes when asked to help Evelyn, even though it barely paid enough to cover bus fare. Every day, Maya cleaned Evelyn's apartment, cooked her simple meals, and sat with her to listen. Evelyn often rambled about her late husband, her garden from years past, or her son who lived in the city but rarely visited. "He's always busy," Evelyn would sigh, clutching a photograph of a tall man in a business suit. "But I don't blame him. Life takes people away." One afternoon, as Maya spoon-fed Evelyn soup, the elderly woman whispered, "Why do you do all this for me, child? You barely have enough for yourself." Maya smiled softly, brushing back Evelyn's silver hair. "Because everyone deserves to be cared for. Even if the world forgets you, you shouldn't feel forgotten." Evelyn's eyes welled with tears at the words, tears that came not from sadness but from the warmth of being seen. What Maya didn't know was that Evelyn's son was not just any man in a suit. He was Daniel Carter, a powerful CEO of a multinational company, known in the media for his sharp mind and ruthless business tactics. He provided Evelyn with financial support, but his visits were rare. In his world, time equaled money, and love often got lost in the shuffle of board meetings and deals. One evening, Daniel arrived unannounced at his mother's apartment. He expected to find her frail and neglected, maybe lying in silence as usual. Instead, he paused at the doorway, stunned by what he saw. His mother was laughing, a pure, childlike laugh, as Maya helped her with an old puzzle. Evelyn's wrinkled face glowed with joy, her voice filled with stories, and for the first time in years, she seemed alive. Daniel remained unseen for a moment, just watching. He noticed the patched sneakers on Maya's feet, the way her hands were worn from work, the tired circles under her eyes. And yet, she radiated something he rarely saw in his own world, compassion without an agenda. After Maya left that night, Daniel finally stepped inside. "Mom, who was that?" he asked quietly. Evelyn's face softened. "That's Maya. She's the reason I smile these days. She gives me something you can't buy, Danny, time and care." Her words pierced through him deeper than any boardroom critique. The next day, Daniel requested to meet Maya. Nervously, she agreed, thinking perhaps she had done something wrong. When she walked into the grand office of Carter Enterprises, she felt out of place among the glass walls and expensive suits. Daniel rose from his chair, extending a hand. "Maya, I owe you more than you know," he began. "You cared for my mother when I was too busy chasing success. You gave her dignity, laughter, and love. That's priceless." Maya shook her head humbly. "I didn't do it for anything in return. She just needed someone." Daniel's gaze softened. "And that's exactly why I want to help you." He revealed that he had quietly investigated her situation, her struggles with bills, her sacrifices for her younger brother. Instead of pity, what he felt was admiration. He offered her not just financial assistance but also a position within his company's foundation, helping run programs for elderly care. Maya was speechless. "Why me?" she whispered. Daniel smiled faintly. "Because people like you remind people like me what truly matters. You showed me that success without kindness is empty. The transformation was immediate. Maya accepted the role, and with it came stability for her family and a chance to extend her compassion on a larger scale. Evelyn, in her final years, never felt alone again. And Daniel, once a man known only for power, found himself sitting at his mother's side more often, learning from Maya's example. In the end, Maya's simple acts of kindness rippled far beyond that small apartment. She didn't just care for an elderly woman, she healed a fractured bond between mother and son and awakened a millionaire's heart to the true wealth of humanity. And perhaps that was the quiet reminder the world needed, that sometimes the smallest, selfless gestures hold the power to transform lives, bridge distances, and inspire hope. Because at the core of it all, love, given freely, is the greatest legacy we leave behind.